Get the latest traveller.
Right, do you take golf lessons? Do you get value for money with your golf lesson? What do you take out of your golf lesson? Today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what you should be taking out of your golf lesson. What is the most important element that the coach is telling you? Is it what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, how to fix it, why you're doing it? What's the most important thing to take away? I'm going to show you what it is, why it is, and how to adopt it. So golf's a game of opposites. If we want the ball to go left, we have to swing to the right. If we want the ball to go to the right, we swing to the left. It's just like life itself, you know, there's a lot of opposites. Red wine, white wine, Danny, Kylie, Coke, Diet Coke, beer, lager, vegetarian, carnivore. There's all different sort of opposites in the world, but golf's very much like that. As I say, you want to hit a fade, you want the ball to go out to the right, you need to swing to the left. So when you're getting your golf coaching, when you're getting lessons, you need to take something from that lesson that is going to enhance your golf game. So you need to pick one opposite. So do you listen to what the guy tells you to do correctly, or do you listen to what he tells you you're doing wrong? It's one of those you need to take away with you. Let's get into it. Four things we're going to talk about are, we'll pick four faults. Okay, so the four faults are going to be early extension, swing path out to in, closed club face, and I don't know, we'll make another one up. Right, I've had to put the camera there, so the light source is this way so you can see me. If I put the camera behind me, I'm just black silhouette. So just have to bear with this. I cannot move this mat either for some reason because it weighs a ton, and now it's raining heavily, so hopefully the camera doesn't get wet. Okay, so let's imagine you've got early extension. So when you come into the shot, your coach tells you extend early, which means you come into the shot, your body goes forwards. So that's called early extension into the shot. So you extend early, and that's what your coach has told you. He then tells you how to get out of that position, and then you have your lesson. You finish your lesson, you go away, you know you early extend, and you know how to get out of it. Bingo. So early extension, down, pushing in, that's your early extension. Now what I would take from that, take away the fault, not the cure. Okay, so if you can take away the fault, you can do the opposite. You can do the Danny instead of the Kylie. So the early extension fault is when you come down, you push your hips forward towards the golf ball, which rises the handle up, so that's the fault. So how do we cure that? Then we'll do the opposite, we flip it round. At address, let's stand taller. So if that's normal address position, we're coming out of that at impact. So if we stand taller at address, which is the opposite, so that's the problem. At impact we're standing too tall. So if we stand in that position at address, when we come into impact, we can then lower ourselves. So we're getting the opposite, so we're getting the Kylie instead of the Danny. White wine instead of red wine. Right, so I've moved the camera here, so I'm now a silhouette, but we're just going to have to deal with that much better. So that was early extension. In this position impact, so let's start off taller, start off standing taller, so then at impact we can come lower. So the fault is standing up too much, so let's start off by standing up too much. So we've used the opposite. That's what you take away from your lesson. You stand up too much at impact. Let's start in that position, get to a different position. Next one, let's imagine we slice from out to in. So we come across the ball too much, so the club shaft's too steep. Check out my last video. Club shaft's far too steep, so we need to get from this steepness. Let's put ourselves into this steep position on the way back, and then on the way down, we'll come into a different position. Oh, I'm bright now. Nice, good camera that. So the fault here, your pro will tell you the fault there is you're coming over this direction. So the club shaft is standing up in this fashion, coming across. So we go up and then out and across, get that slice. So how do we get rid of that? That's the fault you take away. That's the Kylie. Okay, so we want to get the Danny down here, the opposite, red wine, white wine. So let's take the club back up in that route that it comes down on, which then gives us all this room here to drop it inside. So there's the fault. Let's go through the fault on the way back, which gives us a different route on the way down. It really is a game of opposites. Find out from your pro what the fault is. That's what to take away. Then you can do the opposite. Doesn't matter what he tells you what to do. If he tells you how to get out of it, that's fine. But then at least you can go away. You know the fault, so it's up to you then to try and find your own opposite. Whether it's his opposite or your opposite, doesn't matter. As long as you know the fault, then you can find the opposite of that. Club face square, club face closed. So your pro tells you now that your club face is closed at impact. That's why your ball's starting left and going further left. The problem was a closed club face at impact, so we're coming down at impact with the club face in a closed position. So then the ball's going left. So I'm there, I'm standing here, come down, closing the face, ball's going left and further left. So the club face closed, the opposite of that would be a club face square or open, so that's the opposite. That's the red wine from the white wine. So the closed club face, let's start with the club face closed. Just like we did with the early extension, we started standing taller because that was the fault. Let's start with the club face closed, let's put ourselves in the fault position, and then we'll then have to manipulate, twist the shaft to get the club face square at impact. So start off with the club face closed. That's the fault. So I close my club face in relation to my target. Then from there, when I come into impact, I'm going to have to twist the shaft open. I'm going to have to do some sort of manoeuvre at impact to square that face up, to get that straighter ball flight. So that's 3 of the 4 faults we were going to discuss. I can't even remember what the 4th one was. I was thinking about it in the car when I was driving up here. I can't remember what it was. So it's a game of opposites. It's getting that, when you go for your lesson, the thing to take out of your lesson, the most important thing to take out of your golf lesson, is definitely the fault. Now, how you cure the fault's entirely up to yourself. It's not necessarily how the coach tells you to do it, but as long as you know the fault, as long as you're at that golf course and you go, okay, I know I early extend, I'm aware I early extend, so I'm going to stand taller to allow me to lose my height a little bit more through the shot. In other words, we're drinking red wine instead of white wine. Don't mind a white wine. Much rather have a whiskey though. So there we go, it's a game of opposites. So the moral of that story is when you're coaching, find out what the fault is, find out what you do wrong, and then work on the opposite of that. Put that opposite in there. Red wine, white wine, Coke, Diet Coke, Kylie or Danny. Hey, who cares? Subscribe, thumbs up, leave comments below if you tell me what you've done in your lesson. What have you taken from it? Have you taken the cure? This is how I fix myself. Take the fault. Trust me, take the fault.